let's do this. Before we start, I had a few of you guys ask me on Instagram what fast fashion is. I do think you'll get a general sense of what it is after watching this video, but I highly recommend checking out Kristen Leo's Fast Fashion Explained in Under 5 Minutes. She does a really good job at covering what fast fashion is and why it's an issue, so I'll leave that link down below for you guys to check it out yourselves. It's a really good video. I'm about to make the most controversial video on this channel. Some of you are probably very confused by the title. This video will be talking about how to shop sustainably from fast fashion companies. I am not highlighting the fact that we should be shopping from fast fashion. If there's one thing that I've learned from 2019, some of us have a certain level of privilege when it comes to shopping sustainable or secondhand. I want to highlight an Instagrammer, her name is Asia Barber. I really recommend you guys checking her out or following her. I've learned a lot about privilege itself and my level of privilege when it comes to a topic like sustainability. I don't want to take away what she has to say about it. She explains it a lot better, so go check out her page. I keep hitting the mic. So when it comes to privilege, I thought I would use myself as an example for this topic. I'm an able-bodied person. I also have a standard body size, so thrifting online is significantly easier, and I also have a lot of options in the thrift store for my body size. I have access to a car, which gives me the opportunity to visit dozens of thrift stores in just my area at any moment that I want. With all these things considered, not everybody meets these requirements. So now that you understand more of this, let's move on. Although I don't make a lot of money, I do save up to buy from sustainable stores, but that's not always the case for people who are of lower income. Usually the answer is to shop at thrift stores if you cannot afford sustainable fashion. The cleanest, best looking thrift stores are usually on the richer parts of towns. Somebody who doesn't have a car or has to commute by bus for hours, this is not always accessible to them. That is why I think it's important to teach people how to shop from fast fashion. I think there are many things that are still being done wrong when buying from fast fashion, and I will cover all of that. We just have to accept the fact that we are not a linear economy, and hopefully one day we will be, so that everybody has options. Okay, let's just dive into it. That brings me to my first point, and that is slowing down our shopping practices. Clothing is produced in mass quantities because of how much we are buying. Just to give a perspective on how much clothing is being bought in fast fashion every year, I thought I would include this clip from the Patriot Act on their episode of Fast Fashion. They quote, "In 1980s, the average American bought about 12 new articles of clothing every year. Compared to today, the average American is buying up to 68 new pieces of clothing each year." Clothing is made like shit, so you're back in the store 1 or 2 months later, buying something new, replacing this other item that you have already bought. By slowing down your purchases, there's a few things that you can consider. Once you realize that clothing is meant for survival purposes rather than validation, I believe this can actually really benefit you. Are you buying it because you need it? Or are you buying it because you want to seem trendy or cool or validated by your friends? If that's you, you probably need new friends. Also, analyze your closet. Make sure that you're not repeating purchases. Are you buying it just because it's on sale? The item being on sale is just something to consider as a plus, not the reason why you're buying it. And usually items are on sale are the trend items from last season that they're just trying to get rid of, so it's likely that you're not gonna like the item in a month or two. That brings me to my next point. Consider the quality of the item, and I actually have an example of this. So my mic actually stopped recording at this point, so you're gonna hear a shift in audio quality. I apologize for that. Here I have a coat that I recently purchased from a fast fashion company. Long story short, I was given a pair of jeans that are actually from an ethical brand. However, the person that gifted them to me bought it on a fast fashion website. In order for them to seem more ethical, sustainable, they're starting to sell brands on their websites just to make them look like they are, even though they really aren't. Jeans didn't work out, so this person, rather than losing out on money by returning the item, I told them to go ahead and accept the store credit and I will pick out something else. And I thought it would be perfect for this video too. Consider the quality of your item. What type of material is it made out of? So for example, I picked up this coat because it's 100% cotton. I do think that was a lie because of the lining. This is likely to be like a polyester, but the majority of it is 100% cotton. I was not really happy with the fact that it actually holds a lot of lint, but the winning factor of this is that it's actually really fucking warm, which brings me back to the first point of the fact that it's meant for survival purposes. Everything else on the website was super trendy and I didn't really care for it. So when I got this coat, it was really important for me to analyze the stitching in it. The only stitching that is kind of sloppy is near the pockets, so that's something that I have to keep my eye on. So is this item worth mending or taking it to get fixed if it happens to get holes? If it's not worth it to you, don't buy it. To me, 100% cotton is actually better to air out. You don't have to wash it as often. Or is it a cotton slash polyester blend rather than a pure polyester? Polyester is a plastic type of material, doesn't breathe very well. It can pill also. Highly recommend staying away from it if you can. That brings me to my next point, taking care of your items. This is important to ensure the quality that the item is going to last. For example, washing something inside out in cold water and hang drying it. That sounds like a lot. It's very simple. Even half drying and half hanging in the winter is better than completely drying. That will preserve the quality of the item. Also, it will save money on your energy bill, believe it or not. Like, it gets little strings like this, so I would be sure to cut these and make sure that nothing frays, and I would personally take the time to sew this up. I was like, heck yeah, I will take care of this garment even though it's cheaply made. So that's just an example. So with that said, all of these different steps that I have mentioned can ensure this piece of garment in your closet will last longer. You're likely to take more care of it, and it will essentially save you money, so that maybe hopefully one day when you need to buy an outer piece like a coat or a shoe, you have the money to do so from a sustainable company. Because you've taken care of this item, it still is really good quality. When it comes time to you not loving this item anymore, consider selling it on websites like Vinted, Depop, or Poshmark. From my personal experience, Poshmark is great for designer items. Vinted is good for more fast fashion brands like Forever 21, Brandy Melville. Depop is good for thrifted clothes or vintage brands. You can also consider doing clothing swaps with your friend. If you're more likely to take care of the item, they're more likely to take it off your hands. It doesn't have to go to a donation center because not every single garment is kept at a donation center. Unfortunately, a lot of it's thrown out or shipped to third world countries. I talk about minimalism on this channel. In my opinion, minimalism is detaching yourself from your material items, but when it comes to clothing, I think it's really important that we focus more on our clothing. Everything has become so disposable. Personally, nobody gives a f if you outfit repeat. Nobody cares if you wear the same pants every day. I don't think any of us are paying attention. If your only option is from fast fashion, let's walk away from this video being more aware that this is an issue, slowing down our shopping, taking care of our purchases, and essentially work towards a goal that one day we can all afford sustainable fashion. So that is it. That is my most controversial video because a lot of you are probably like, what the f, Taylor, you don't buy from fast fashion. Believe it or not, sometimes I have to. I live on my own now. I can't afford it always to buy sustainable. If I missed anything or you guys have any ideas, leave it down below and we can all discuss this in a nice and constructive criticism way. Goodbye.